Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to CIO Leadership Live. I'm Maryfran Johnson, your host for today's program. I'm the CEO of Maryfran Johnson Media and the former editor-in-chief of CIO Magazine and Events. Since November of 2017, this video and audio podcast has been produced by the editors of CIO.com and the digital media division of Foundry, which is an IDG company. Our growing library of past interviews, all of them openly available on the web on both CIO.com and CIO's YouTube channel, includes more than 150 chief information, digital, and technology officers from mid-sized to large companies across the industries. Joining us today, joining that esteemed lineup of CIOs today, is my guest, Antonio Marin. He is the CIO of US Med-Equip, which is a Houston-based company that supplies movable medical equipment, patient beds, and therapeutic surfaces to more than 90 locations nationwide, covering major medical centers and underserved rural hospitals. Antonio joined USME in January of 2022, bringing with him more than 25 years of IT executive experience in strategic planning, business alignment, mergers and acquisitions, project management, and more. As the president emeritus of the Society of Information Management, SIM, their Houston chapter, Antonio is a widely known and respected IT leader whose teams have been recognized by technology think tanks and industry experts across the spectrum. Most recently, his IT group at USME won a prestigious CIO 100 Innovation Award for using AI and robotic process automation to develop a one-click solution for ordering hospital beds and other medical equipment more quickly than it's ever been done before. Before he joined US Med-Equip, Antonio held several C-level leadership roles in various industries, ranging from waste management and oil and gas to logistics and commercial software, retail, and engineering procurement companies. Antonio, it's great to have you here today. Thanks so much for joining me.
Maryfran, it's a great honor and pleasure to be with you. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Well, I'm going to take great advantage of you and all of your cross-industry experience as we go through a very long list of our topics here today. Let's start out with kind of a big picture view of US Med-Equip's customer base and what the biggest business and tech challenges have been for the rental medical equipment industry in these last few very disruptive years.
Well, as you can imagine, Maryfran, we're coming out of COVID, and COVID was an incredible active season for companies like ours, where we are part of this wonderful supply chain in hospitals in the healthcare world. And what we do here by taking movable medical equipment across the country, what we're really doing is helping hospitals serve patients in need. The end of our supply chain is a patient who needs life-saving equipment. Yeah. So our role in information technology is to make sure all the steps from ordering to delivering work perfectly to bring that equipment to somebody who's in need.
Yeah. And this has, of course, hospitals have been around for, I guess, hundreds of years. And so they've always had a way to get the rental equipment and move around that they needed, but not always as quickly as it needs to be delivered. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, something that we are very proud of is that one of our objectives as an organization is to be able to deliver equipment within 2 hours of request plus driving time.
Wow.
It's something that is very important to us. It's something that is embedded in our DNA in the fabric of this company. One of the challenges that we see in rental equipment is having, first of all, the equipment available. We have an incredible team of biomed technicians who can really make magic happen. Secondly, we have a close relationship with our partners, and we call hospitals our customers partners because that's what we are. We are partners in their ability to deliver care to their patients. So we work very closely with them to make sure that we have equipment available when it's needed. It's not just when you rent medical equipment, it's not just about the equipment itself. It's about the software that the equipment uses.
Yes.
The the last time that equipment was actually served or preventative maintenance, because we want to make sure that equipment goes in perfect conditions
Mm-hmm.
to save somebody's life.
Now, these partner hospitals that you work with, is US Med-Equip the sole source of their rental equipment, or are you one of a group of rental companies that they work with?
Sometimes we're the sole source, sometimes we're part of a group of companies.
Mm-hmm.
So it varies, depends on the equipment, type of equipment, and the needs of the hospital.
Yes, and the ability that you have to get equipment there within a 2 hour period, is that pretty much an industry standard, or is that something unique to US Med-Equip?
2 hours plus driving time is very unique to US Med-Equip.
Oh, okay.
That's something that is a major differentiator between us and the rest of the competition.
Mm-hmm. And is that something that you are able to do because of technology?
We do that because of technology. Actually, US Med-Equip was one of the first companies. Not only that we were start using the rental technology that we use today, but also we were some of the first to share that information with our partners.
Really?
So
Oh,
whenever
okay.
a company puts a request for equipment, they can see what the order comes in, when it's going to be delivered, and when we're delivering itself.
Mm-hmm.
We track all our equipment across the country, so we know when that equipment is actually delivered, and we maintain our SLAs at the best rate that we can.
Okay. Now, we're not talking about a few thousand pieces of equipment here. Tell us about the scope of the equipment you have moving across the entire country, or
Uh,
mostly in the Southeast.
It's in the entire country. We
Mm-hmm.
have 90 locations across the continental USA.
Mm-hmm.
We can reach almost every hospital in the country. And
Wow.
we have about 146,000 pieces of equipment. So just a few.
Yeah, just a few. I know we all tend to think that Amazon has these giant warehouses, but I imagine you've got probably some warehouse management issues of your own.
We do, but that's where we use technology.
Okay.
That's where we use technology. We do still RFID tracking.
Mm-hmm.
So all our equipment is barcoded and tracked at all times.
Yes.
We are one of the few companies that can actually do tracking of the equipment in hospitals through our asset management program called ASAP,
Mm-hmm.
and where we don't have to go inside a room to see that equipment is there. We can scan our equipment from outside without interrupting the care of the patient.
Yeah. And this capability that US Med-Equip brings to it, is this something that I know there's probably 6 to 10 suppliers that are the leaders in your particular part of the industry. Is everybody coming up the curve with technology capabilities like USME has?
It is a very competitive market in that sense,
Of
but there's
course.
some things that we have done that are unique in the industry. We actually, especially for when you have to move beds, which is
Hmm.
I know it's movable medical equipment, but beds are a little bit bigger to move than
Yeah.
like a suction pump or something else, like something similar on that size. So what we've done with beds is that we create a program, as you mentioned early in the introduction, that uses robotic process automation, AI, and machine learning that
Hmm.
takes takes advantage of the capabilities that exist into the EMR systems that exist in hospitals.
Yes.
So with a very few tweaks on the EMR side, from the hospital side, we're able to receive electronic messaging from their system, and we
Hmm.
process that electronic messaging to orders,
Yes. And when you say EMR, you're talking about the electronic medical record
medical record
systems.
systems. Yes,
And those are fair, those are standardized for the most part across
for the
healthcare.
most part.
Okay. The um, in all of the different industries that you have worked in before, has there been an end customer that has been in healthcare situations, or is healthcare a whole new area for you with the many places that you have brought your IT leadership to in the past?
Well, I've been in different industries where it is the end result is helping somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in an industry like this one where you have a direct impact. into somebody's
Mm-hmm.
life. Um, I'm actually not only a member of USME, but also I've been a customer.
You have.
So this
Mm-hmm.
is one of those things where you realize that the work that we do here, and as a father
Mm-hmm.
who has been in a situation where we need medical equipment,
Yeah.
the work that we do here means something way more than just the process of what we do every single day.
Mm-hmm.
We have wonderful stories. Every day is a new story here, and we have phenomenal and wonderful stories of patients that recover faster because we brought the equipment on time. Patients that were able to get the equipment and the nurses were able to act upon it immediately that could save somebody's life.
Mm-hmm.
And we have other stories of employees of ours, biomed technicians, who unfortunately had a relative in the hospital. And when they checked the equipment, it's the same equipment they worked on before.
Oh.
So we are in one way, or in many ways, connected not only to our partner hospitals, but also to the patients they serve.
Okay. Interesting. And that must make for a different way, kind of a different impact on just on you personally, having this kind of a CIO role.
It, put it this way, it makes my days go so quickly, so fast, and so rewarding. It is really rewarding to know that because of the work we've done here, somebody's going to go home in a better health than when they arrive to the hospital.
Yes.
We're a
So,
little bit, we're a small part, a little bit part of the
mhm.
equation,
Yes.
but we're part of the equation.
Yes. Well, and that personal connection that your tech team and probably the whole company is about 700 people across the
Correct.
country, right? Tell us about the size and scope of your technology team. I know
So,
you can be a multi-billion dollar company, but only be running IT with a handful of really dedicated ninjas. So tell us about the tech team and also a little something about your marching orders when you came in January of 22. It's almost 3 years now.
almost 3 years of excitement. So the
Mm-hmm.
team is here in the United States is 19 people.
Mm-hmm.
We supplement that team with some consulting organizations
Mm-hmm.
in the US, and we have a team in India that is about 12 people now.
Okay.
So very strong group of people, very dedicated, and I can tell you it is one of the best teams I ever worked with. Their human quality and technical qualities are amazing. And you use the word ninja. And you
Yes.
know, you and I have spoken
Mm-hmm.
several times that I'm the kind of person who likes to have ninjas. Instead of have quantity, I like quality.
Yes.
And if
Yes.
that quality comes with great attitude, even better.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you'd mentioned too that when competitors or when other companies come to recruit your IT people, you're not happy to lose them, but that one of your beliefs is that everybody should be constantly recruitable from others because it's a sign of increasing excellence on the team. Talk about that a little bit.
So, as we said, as you and I talked about before, one of the things I'm very proud of is that I love my teams to get always ahead in technology,
Mm-hmm.
always been in a learning mode. And when they go to the extent where they become speakers, they get promoted within the organization, they get a more prominent position, not only in the company, but also in the IT ecosystem, they're going to be very attractive to other companies. I
Yes.
want my team to be recruitable because that means their value continues increasing.
Okay.
But what I love about my team is that they stay because they love being here.
Yes.
It's not just about one penny more somewhere else. It's about creating an environment where people want to stay because they feel and they know that their role has importance, has meaning, and
Mm-hmm.
they're appreciated.
Yes. Now, when you joined almost 3 years ago now, you had mentioned that IT was essentially split into two major groups.
Correct.
Tell us about how you have restructured IT to be serving the business better.
The structure of the team was in general terms, there.
Mm-hmm.
You have an IT team that was the infrastructure, and you have the IS team, which is the software development piece.
Development, sure.
What they didn't have was something to connect them together.
Mm-hmm.
So when I joined the organization, we talk about the value that every single person brings to the team.
Mm-hmm.
But most importantly, we talk about the value they also bring to each other. And one of the things I always fight with other people in the industry when we talk about mission statements, right?
Yes.
I don't believe that IT should have its own IT mission statement. I
Oh,
believe
okay.
IT's mission statement is the company's mission statement.
Yes. But a lot of people can't really parrot back what the mission statement is. But now I'll put you right on the spot. Tell me what USME's mission statement is.
Our mission statement is to provide smart solutions to our hospital partners for
Mm-hmm.
the betterment of their patients. And smart solutions can mean so many things. To me,
Yeah.
smart solutions means that we need to provide a technology that our supply chain team, from ordering to delivery, have the right information to do it. For
Mm-hmm.
our warehouse and equipment management team to be able to place the right piece of equipment with the right partner at the right time.
Okay. That's good. That's actually fairly straightforward. That's easy for people to keep track of, isn't it?
Easy to keep track of, hard to deliver.
I would imagine. Now, take us back to almost 3 years ago when you joined the company. What sort of was there anything, any platforms on fire, or any things that needed immediate attention? I know you mentioned there's a homegrown ERP, an enterprise resource
Right.
planning system, and whenever I hear homegrown in front of any big important tech system, I kind of brace myself and I think, oh, there's a lot of legacy technology involved in that. So, as you came into the company, was there anything that just obviously needed help immediately? And if so, what did you do about it?
So I came on board just in the middle of that transition between the old homegrown ERP to the
Yep.
new version of the homegrown ERP.
Oh,
And as you can imagine, there's always communications issues. There's a disconnect between teams or what operations wants versus what IT understands
mm-hmm.
what operations wants. So my role coming in was to first of all understand the problem and being able to build bridges between IT and the business.
Mm-hmm.
Once those bridges start coming along and being built, we were able to start really looking at the end of the tunnel and saw that the light was really bright. We saw that the development that we have done was solid, and
Mm-hmm.
we're looking for really go back to a little bit more of change management,
Yes.
being able to bring people together, understand where the processes were meeting across different disciplines.
Mm-hmm.
And once we did that, we were able to turn the project fairly quickly. Within 3 months, we went live with a new version
A new version of the homegrown
of the
ERP.
home year. But it's a different technology, different user interface. So it was a major change.
Yeah. And is there an ability to add all the sort of the modern bits and bobs that you need to, like microservices and the use of chatbots and all that sort of thing? Are you able to do, is that even appropriate? That may be a really dumb question, but
First of
you'll
all,
humor me.
there's no dumb question there. But no, there's some limitations with homegrown systems.
Sure.
And I mean, if you think about it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, generative AI was not even the conversation of many CIOs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Suddenly, generative AI is dominating the conversation. AI in general is dominating the conversation.
Yes,
And when you have a homegrown system, it's very difficult to adapt to those changes.
I would think.
So
Yeah.
as a company, we have followed strategy and we have actually moved some critical parts of the ERP to off-the-shelf software.
Mm-hmm.
And we have seen, well, obviously we are connecting through the back
Yeah.
end, to our GoUSME platform, but we have actually expanded the ability of our platform to be more effective and more resilient to changes in the technology that is going on.
Okay. And we went almost 10 minutes into our conversation here without bringing up AI. So,
Also,
but
probably
but
that's a record now.
we knew that might happen. Well, I've been joking that it has become a federal requirement to talk about AI within the first few minutes. And so let's pivot over into that, because AI and RPA and machine learning all played a role in this your award last year, the Innovation Award, the CIO 100. Tell us about, and that was not just the latest and greatest technology, but it also had a lot to do with the way you looked at the business process that needed amending. So take us through a little conversation about that.
So let me give a step back, because technology for the sake of technology is not the right solution.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I happened to visit several hospitals, and I talked to the clinicians
Mm-hmm.
who are in the battlefront trying to keep up with all the things they need to do to help patients get well. And the common thing across many hospitals was hearing nurses say, if I could order the equipment with one click, that will make the difference.
Mm-hmm.
When you're ordering, for example, a bed, you need to order the type of bed, the surface that you're going to put the patient on, and the surface has to be configured to the specifications of the patient.
Okay. Sure.
And once that so you have a nurse who has to either go to a portal or go to a third-party system or make a phone call just
Yes.
to get the order process,
Yeah.
and that takes the nurse away from doing what she's supposed to be doing, which is taking care of the patients. Most of the information that is needed to order that equipment, especially beds, is already in the EMR system.
Okay.
So we start with one hospital who had this issue, and they were very forward thinking to say, okay, if we can make the change to the way we order like x-rays
Right.
or send orders to the pharmacy through the EMR, can you take those orders? And the answer was absolutely yes.
Ah.
So what they did, they created a form within the EMR system for specialty beds.
Mm-hmm.
It contains what they call the algorithm. So when they have a patient with certain characteristics, it matches what they need to order,
Mm-hmm.
and they click OK, and we get the information from the EMR system, and we can get the information in different ways. It could be what we call electronic messaging. It could be secure email, secure file transfer, or
Mm-hmm.
secure eFax.
Yes, you'd mentioned e-faxing, which I had not. I honestly hadn't thought about any sort of fax kind of processes in a long time, but they're deeply embedded in the way the healthcare industry is still having to do business, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Faxing, it's a HIPAA-approved technology. It was
Mm-hmm.
grandfathered. Is very secure, especially
Yeah.
eFax is encrypted, so it's very secure.
Yes.
And there's no paper on the other side, so just for
Mm-hmm.
safety reason, there's no paper on the other side. So we were able to take this electronic messaging,
Mm-hmm.
and we have an AR. We create a process through with robotic process automation (RPA) that actually uses AI to read the information.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
And the reason we need to use AI is because, as you know, computers are not very good when you're trying to compare O's and zeros, I's and
Mm-hmm.
ones.
Mm-hmm.
So we use AI technology that actually help us get the information to our system. And then
Yeah.
because every hospital has a different way to order things, we start using machine learning to train the model on how the
Mm.
hospitals ordered equipment.
Yes. Now, had you done this kind of work with AI and RPA and machine learning in some of your other industries, like most recently in retail or waste management? Were there things you were able to, or approaches you thought of as you were considering the problem for healthcare and for your partner hospitals that, where the light bulb went off and you thought, aha, here's where we can use this particular approach to a business process?
Honestly, not at this level. This
Ah,
actually, it was a very fun process. I had an opportunity to do some consulting for the CIO then of UiPath. So
okay,
I got really involved into what is robotic process automation.
right.
And we did it for certain things. When I joined US Med-Equip, we had a customer, a partner customer, who uses their own system to put orders.
Ah,
And we need a human to go and connect into the system to process the order.
mm-hmm.
Well, as you can imagine, orders from hospitals don't happen between 8 and 5 p.m.
No,
It's a
not the important,
24/7 job.
not the important ones, right? Yeah.
Exactly. They happen
Hmm.
any time of the day, any day of the week, any day of the month. So we built on this robotic process automation to learn how to connect to that system and being able to transfer those orders from their system to our system.
Hmm.
So that was the first, if you want to call it, proof of concept that RPA had value in our world.
Okay.
So we did that. The second part is how do you transfer from an order from that? So we start using this RPA and they start using the machine learning model. And it was very interesting that when we start playing with the model, it took it about only 13 to 14 times to learn the pattern for that order. That was
Okay.
very, and
Hmm.
normally when you start with the model, you start probably between 40, 50% success rate. Our
Right.
first success rate was 75%.
Whoa. So you must have thought, aha, we're really
We,
onto
we have
something here.
something here.
Yeah, we've got something here. Now, you're still for a CIO, you're still fairly hands-on and technical yourself, aren't you?
I tried to be.
And now you're being falsely modest. So,
I
tell
have
us
a
more.
great team. I have a great team that indulges me in all my crazy ideas.
Yes. Well, tell us about some of the some parts of this that you actually got hands on in helping to develop something.
Well, the first part was actually training the model. We
Ah,
were having a
okay.
conversation. It was a 3 hour meeting with my team,
Hmm.
and we were having this conversation about the how would the model do the interpretation of the data that we're submitting into it. And while the conversation was going back and forth, I was playing on the side of the conversation with the model.
Okay. That was some multitasking going on there,
And
right?
that tells you
Mhm.
that, yes, I'm a little bit ADD, if you want to put it that way.
Okay. Hey, aren't we all? Come on.
But so when we got the first results, I talked to my team. I said, okay, guys, we know how to do this. We're
Hmm.
doing this in this example. Now we have this piece. Now we have to work in the middle, which is the transport
Yes.
and the translation. And within the first week or so, we had a very rough draft of
Hmm.
of the RPA process and the machine learning working. And with the help of this hospital, which I mentioned earlier,
Hmm.
we started receiving information from there from the test environment, and the model started getting better and better and better until we got a product that we felt very confident to go live with.
Okay.
And
Now, were there additional hurdles because of all the privacy concerns with hospitals and also with the cybersecurity aspects of it?
absolutely, but that's why encryption become we have different levels of encryption.
Hmm.
One of the beautiful things of using this electronic messaging mode
Yeah.
is that you can control the security level. And also, once the information is transferred, it doesn't exist anywhere. Once it's transferred, go
Ah,
into our ERP, and the transfer disappears. It doesn't exist anymore.
so there's no storage, additional storage problems, and yeah.
You heard many stories probably from companies and some hospitals that got hacked through their APIs.
Yeah.
Well, there's no API here to be hacked.
That's great.
So
Now,
there's no permanent connection that
yeah.
links both systems. It's a transactional
Mm-hmm.
it's a transactional system, but because of the levels of security that we put together,
Mm-hmm.
makes it extremely safe, and at the same time, that information disappears.
Okay.
So,
Interesting. Have you been asked to present or talk about this with other companies in your industry or with software companies that would love to do something similar? Because this is unusual in that it's a business process problem that's been a problem for 30 plus years.
correct.
And with all the modern technologies, you've created a way to resolve it and to solve it without running up a huge bill for the hospitals using this, right? I mean,
Oh,
if you were a consultant, you'd probably be getting fired right now because you didn't spend enough, you didn't charge enough money for this. So,
well,
uh,
we're very proud of what we've done as a team.
yeah.
We are with our communications and legal teams who are patenting the process. There's
Hmm.
patent pending.
Okay, good.
This is something that
Hmm.
is going to be unique for US Med-Equip, and again, we're very proud of it.
Yes.
Secondly, yes, I've spoken to different hospital systems.
Hmm.
One of my favorite conversations was with a hospital in Flint, Michigan, where
Hmm.
their IT team and supply chain teams asked us if we could train the other vendors to do the same thing.
And what
So,
did you tell them? You'd have to get the vendors to cooperate, obviously.
well, we need to work on a licensing agreement or something. No, but
Yes.
we're very
Okay.
proud. And
That
so,
makes sense. Yeah.
again, remember one thing, Maryfran. One of the things that we want to do is respond to the needs of our clinicians, right?
Right.
And one of the things as a company, we say delivering equipment within 2 hours plus driving time is
Hmm.
extremely important.
Yeah.
So it is something that we have to protect as an organization,
Sure.
and it's our differentiator in the market. One of the many differentiators we have in the market. The quality of our equipment is bar none,
Hmm.
and it's also the quality of the people that we work with is amazing. The hospitals love our team members because they honestly care about the patient and of the work
Hmm.
they do.
Yeah.
So when you put all these things together, great people, technology, and a mission that you can believe that you actually live every single day
Hmm.
with, makes a huge difference.
Yeah. What is the next natural evolution for is this a product or a capability? It is Go USME Connect is the name of it.
Isn't it?
And how do you what is it a I'm trying to get my mind around whether would I recognize it if it was sitting on the desk in front of
What's
me
it under
or
this? I would call more of a product
okay.
at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the things that GoYosemite Connect has done for the IT organization, it had opened the doors to the executive management to be very supportive of AI and what technology can do for the company.
Ah, was that not their favorite thing when you joined back in 22?
No, it is. I mean,
Yeah.
this company has always been supportive of technology, but when you start talking about AI and what AI can do,
Yes.
a lot of people think about that pie in the sky.
Sure.
A lot of people think about, oh my God, now we're going to spend millions of dollars in development. Or everybody talks about generative AI and they start thinking about, oh, look at all the hallucinations we're going to have.
Yeah.
And this is different.
Yes.
This is a new way to look at technology that we have available
Mm-hmm.
that, as you mentioned, is not breaking the bank,
Yeah.
but at the same time is bringing a lot of value to the organization and to our customers.
Now, is this something that is there's a unique capability to do this now with AI and RPA because of how rapidly they've been expanding in the market? Or is this something that could have been done 5 years ago? The technologies were all there, but nobody thought of it.
So when the idea started evolving about Go Yosemite Connect,
Yes.
we started looking at certain parts, and there's a piece of the puzzle that was giving us a heartache.
Mm-hmm.
And when we came around looking at testing some other products that could help us finish the link of the finish the process itself,
Yes.
that missing link, that technology did not exist 2 months before.
Ah, okay. So this really is not only unique and a unique way to look at and solve the problem, but it's been made possible by
Absolutely.
technologies that are okay.
And every day is going to get better and better.
Yeah. What do you have in store after this? What is phase two for your USME Connect?
Well, we would GoYosemite Connect and GoYosemite in general, what we're looking at is using AI to really help us streamline a lot of the internal processes that we have in the company.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, we already started with off-the-shelf software
Mm-hmm.
and we move our equipment management, our enterprise asset management, our
Mm-hmm.
procurement, and our biomed technology uh, to this off-the-shelf system. And what we're learning is that we're applying more of the predictive analytics. We're, we're learning how AI is going to be able to solve some of the problems that are normally documented somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
but then we don't have the visibility as quickly as we would like to have it.
Okay.
One of the beautiful things of working in a company that has been in the business for more than 20 years and being great at what they've been doing for all this time is that in some of the pieces of equipment that we rent, we have more information, sometimes more than the manufacturers may have.
Ah, of course. Of
So
course.
when you start applying predictive analytics, we could probably start looking at in the near future, when is equipment really going to break,
Yeah.
and avoid those processes through preventative maintenance.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago, a lot of our discussions at various conferences that you and I have been at together over the years too. Predictive analytics was always the shiny red ball of the conversations. Everybody was heading toward that as one, and we talk about it a lot less these days. Everything is switched to the idea of AI and Gen AI, but it really seems to have been it seems to have brought predictive analytics full circle where it's practical and doable.
Uh,
Am I overstating that, or is that
no,
what
you're
you,
absolutely
well,
right. I think one of the challenges that we have, for those of us who've been in technology for so many years, is we try to think in ones and zeros, either or.
ah,
And this is not an either or situation, this is an and situation.
that's
This is
always a
where
nice
you
way.
start really taking advantage of what you have in the past
Hmm.
and enhance it with the technology that you're getting now.
Yeah.
And when you put those two things together, it is it is the next level of what we always wanted to do.
Okay. Now, what do you do about the talent that you need on staff? Maybe talent that you don't have now, or that you need more time to develop with these AI skills. What is your talent challenge when you think about the ways that AI has started to change US Med-Equip's business going forward?
Well, the typical situation is the urgent never gives you time for the important things. So what we try to do is, and my team has full access to training. I
Hmm.
encourage them that training is key to anything they do in life. As
Yep.
we started the conversation, we talk about I want them to be recruitable. Well, the only way you can be recruitable
Yep.
is if you continue learning. So
Yep.
we are in a continuous learning process. The other thing that I've done is that, and I mentioned some of our partner companies,
Hmm.
we bring talent that has already experience in the areas that we want to work on, and I pair them with those consultants with that
Okay.
extra level
Yeah.
of technology. So not only they have the opportunity to read and learn from the books,
Hmm.
but also they have the opportunity to learn from people who are doing that every single day.
Yes, yes. I would think that there'd be more danger that your folks would get recruited by your partner hospitals than by other tech companies or providers in your area.
again, it's one of those things where I want them to be recruitable, but I want them to stay because they love it.
Yeah. Que sera,
And
sera on that,
we
right?
have one of the highest engagements in the
Mm-hmm.
company. We have a great retention. I think I've been here for 3 years, and I can think about maybe one or two people who we lost
Mm-hmm.
due to a competitor.
That's a pretty out of roughly 30 people around the world. That's a pretty good attrition rate.
Absolutely. One
Pretty
of the
low.
things, and it's not just IT. I mean, IT is just a
Mm-hmm.
little island, not an island, but a little portion of a big continent called US Med-Equip.
Okay.
We have been named for the last 6 years in a row one of the top places to work.
Yes, I've seen that on your website. One of
That
the
is not accident. We,
true.
for
Mm-hmm.
10 years in a row, we were one of the fastest growing companies.
Mm-hmm.
And we just received an award that was an Inc. magazine award
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. They're
but that award came from our partner hospital saying how much they love us.
oh nice.
So,
Nice. Mm-hmm.
so I think we have put all the pieces of the puzzle together to be a great company
Mm-hmm.
with a great future. And I can't see why people would not like to be here.
I know
As a matter of
exactly.
fact, hopefully I
Mhm.
get a few resumes of people who want to be in an environment like ours.
That is always a really key reason why award-winning CIOs like yourself come on this podcast to talk about what a technology magnet their company can be and will be and is, especially in some of the industries that don't have quite the razzle dazzle of being like startups in software. They're a medical equipment rental company. You wouldn't ordinarily think that you've got a whole lot of leading edge activity going on in AI, but here you are getting
Here we
ready.
are.
Here you are getting
Here we
a
are.
patent on something that your staff invented. Now, you were aware coming in, I know when in one of your previous roles at, I think at WCA Waste, you, at the time, your IT group was in the, what was it, the future forward 50 for digital, for using
Yeah.
digital.
Digital Age 50.
That's it. Yes. And you were not shy about sharing that with your group when you got there. Why did you do that? Why did you come in and talk about an award that your IT group got elsewhere?
So one of the things I wanted to show my team, when you walk into an organization
Mm-hmm.
and there's not an IT culture per se, you have people who work in two different branches of IT, but they haven't worked together.
Right.
They haven't seen the results. And you can talk about those things. You can always show what a great organizations are doing,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels foreign.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that happens somewhere else.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily sound achievable.
Exactly. So WCA Waste had a team about the same size as US Med-Equip with the
Mm-hmm.
same kind of challenges we had before.
Yep.
And I brought the trophies and I put them in my office and I said that I was going to remove those trophies the day we won our first one.
Okay.
And because I said, this is what we can achieve working as a team.
Right.
Once we achieve those things, then we start building our own story.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, before the CIO 100 award, our director of IT of infrastructure and cybersecurity won the 2024 CISO award.
Excellent. The Chief
So we
Security
start
Officer Award. Mm-hmm.
Chief Information Security Officer award, which is incredibly important, and I'm very proud of him of
Yep.
how he took the role and he ran with the ball.
Good.
So that was the first big message to the team to say, we can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
then,
I was
and
going to
we
say
validated. We validated with the CIO 100, which is an
yes.
incredible honor.
And it's a very competitive contest. And
It,
I was running that program for well over 10 years when I was still full time at Foundry and at CIO.com. And I think somewhere around 400 companies apply for that award. So there's a 1 out of 4 chance. And the judges, it's more than 50 industry luminaries and executive recruiters and a lot of former or retired CIOs who judge it, who can read through an application and can really tell. But the most important point there, especially for anyone listening, is that you have to apply if you want to win these awards.
uh,
And that was something you applied. You didn't just, like, a CIO 100 award doesn't just happen to you. You have to, there's intention, I guess, is what I'm saying. And I wish every CIO would think about it that way, because it's an award for your team. It's not necessarily, I mean, you do win a lot of awards, but these aren't your awards. They're
no,
your
this
team's
there,
awards.
I don't know of any CIO award that is a CIO only award.
It's just they sometimes will honor a CIO of the year, and that's a general leadership kind of award. And there's a few organizations that do that, but this one has always, what I've always loved about the CIO 100 is so many companies across so many industries get recognized, and they get recognized for their team accomplishments.
Oh, and have your name, US Med-Equip, aligned with so many great companies.
Oh, General Electric and
It is an
FedEx.
amazing.
And yes.
I can tell you the feeling that it was to see our name on that
Mhm.
wall with Fortune 100, Fortune
Sure.
10 companies,
Yes.
which means one thing, which is very important, is that it's not the size of the IT department, it's not the size of the company. It's what we can do with the technology
Yes.
to make it better for our company, for our customers,
Mhm.
and in my case, particularly for our patients.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And a lot of companies, once they win a CIO 100 award, it becomes one of the things that they keep track of over the years, and they try to win another one, and they often do. I mean, I was always telling people about companies like FedEx and
Mhm.
UPS and Accenture. They have won. I think the CIO 100 has been in effect since 1988. Back when you and I were still in high school, right? and
Yes,
and
sir.
there are companies like FedEx, I think, has won well more than 35 times. And IBM has been a regular winner as well. And it's always honoring the work done by the technology teams. They're that way. Let me pivot over to ask you about, we've talked a good deal about AI, and GenAI has come up too. Are there other emerging technology or kind of new shiny red objects out there that have an especially big interest for your industry right now? Or is it all pretty much still about, is AI just drowning out the environment with
I,
all
I
the
think
noise around it?
I think AI has taken the center stage.
Okay.
That's, but there's some things that AI has not been able to do that we need to continue doing as an organization.
Okay. Such as?
Data management.
Oh, I
It's
know. And
still good,
enterprise data management, that's a subject.
good business and good IT business practice is still the core of what we need to do.
Yeah.
Everything if you have a solid foundation, building on that foundation is very simple. It's easier than
Hmm.
if you don't have that foundation. So as an IT leaders, we still need to be conscious and responsible for making sure that foundation is strong.
Sure.
The
Sure.
second part of it is when we talk about AI, what AI is the best AI for your organization?
And there are many of them right now, aren't there?
There's
Yeah.
different versions of what you have to do with AI. We got generative AI, which in many cases people love because it becomes like the new search engine, but with a brain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm particularly fascinated by text to speech.
Yes.
We talk about, you mentioned bots, right? and
Yes.
having chatbots. But having chatbots in the regular way or the Sirius and Alexa are still not developed enough to really help an organization like ours do more.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't wait to continue working with our partners in the industry
Hmm.
with some of the new technologies coming out to see how we can take that to the next level.
Hmm.
Um,
Now, when you are evaluating outside partners to work with you on special projects like in AI, how do you go about judging how good the fit will be? What is some of the advice you would give other CIOs when they're considering working with? Of course, this could be a consultancy that 3 years ago was convinced that blockchain was going to be the next great technology, and maybe they were talking that up, and now everybody has switched over, and now everybody's an AI expert. So, how do you judge? How do you make sure that you're dealing with somebody who's really going to bring a lot to the party?
well, there's different aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with the easy one, the technology side. And if you mentioned when we're in kindergarten, one of the beautiful things about being a computer scientist is that all this AI stuff, we
Mm-hmm.
learned it in college, but we didn't have the computing power to do it. So
Right.
the math is there. The math is still valid.
Yeah.
Now we have the ability to see it live and to be able to play with it.
To put the math to
So,
work. Yeah.
so I want to, when I look at a company, I want to make sure that they understand the technology and the
Mm-hmm.
math behind the technology.
Ah.
So that's the easy part.
Mm-hmm.
The hard part is to find a company that believes in the same values that you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to risk and to put their investment where they think the technology should be for you. If they understand what you're doing and the value of what you're doing and why you're doing it,
Yes.
to me, and they're willing to bring their technology to make it better for you,
Yeah.
I think that's a big differentiator. And it's amazing how many companies don't do that.
Really. I
A
know
lot
it
of
does.
companies want to sell you a product
Yeah.
and you bring input on one side and you get an output on the other side and you should be
Mm-hmm.
happy with it.
Ah.
Obviously, we can do that.
Okay.
We
Good.
want to make sure that the outcomes at the end are something that are going to make us help somebody save a life.
Yes.
So anything that goes before that, they have to be 100% vested
Mm-hmm.
in our mission and vision.
Good. Good. Well, I remember you told me when you were deciding to join U.S. Med-Equip, one of of course, those initial conversations with the CEO are always very important in making that decision. But your CEO, his title stands for the Chief Enablement Officer. Uh,
Uh, yeah, here's
yeah.
the um, I lost the word. Chief Empowerment Officer.
Empowerment. That's it. I'm sorry. That was my
When you
fault.
say
Yeah.
enablement, yeah, he enables, but he's Chief Empowerment Officer. And
Okay.
when I was talking to him and the Chief Operating Officer,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going through the interview process, I came home and I was completely sold in the company. Normally, when you go to a job interview, you think that I may get it, I may not get it.
Yeah.
But that time, I told my wife, if I don't get this one, it's going to hurt
Oh.
because I never been in a company with so much heart.
Ah. So I and when you think about, you've been in 5 or 6 different industries.
Yes.
So, and every industry has an end product of some sort or a service. But I think probably the service industries, has any other industry that you've been in held this level of satisfaction for you in terms of the impact you can have on your world?
Not not in the level of this company on every single day,
Okay.
because here, like I mentioned earlier, there's a story every single day. Something happens every single day across the country, and we always like to think that we hope that you don't need us,
Mm-hmm.
but if you need us, we'll be there for you.
Yes. Nice.
And the other company during Hurricane Harvey, Houston
Mhm.
was
Oh, that's right.
really
That was huge for
huge hurricane hit. The
yes.
city was in a very bad position, and I was working for WCA Waste.
Mm-hmm.
And something that it was really heartwarming is to see our drivers
Mm-hmm.
getting the truck, getting their crews, and going out there to pick up garbage.
Excuse me.
Because, bless you,
Mm-hmm.
because we knew that it was very important to make sure the city was clean, to make sure
Yeah.
nothing was going to happen by having all the debris out there.
Right. Right.
Well, that was one big event, Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have big events every single day.
That's right.
Not so long ago, we had an amazing story, and I told the story to my team because everything had to work perfect. We get a call from a hospital about an hour drive from McAllen, Texas.
Okay.
So a nurse calls. So the phone system has to work.
Mm-hmm.
Customer experience takes the call. Dispatch the order to the branch in McAllen. Our GoYoSemi system worked perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
The equipment management had the equipment ready to go. That means all the inventory, the preventive maintenance, all the pieces of the puzzle that go before having the equipment ready and being on the shelf ready to go work
Yes.
perfectly. The branch lead calls the police and said, "I need lights to help me out."
Hmm.
We got the police officers coming over. They escorted the USME van, and when they arrive to the hospital, they have a nurse doing hand compressions on a newborn baby. So the equipment arrived just in time to save that baby's life.
Oh,
So I'm a father of a baby boy who was born 1 pound.
you've told me. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
I know how that feels when the technology comes to the rescue.
Wow.
And
Mm-hmm.
uh, and can you imagine that story repeats almost every single day here?
I would have just trouble keeping keeping it together every single day when I would hear stories like that. I feel like I'd be an emotional wreck most of the day, just feeling all that empathy and being so glad to have been a part of it.
On the contrary, we're very proud of being part of that. We
Yes.
have an opportunity that you seldomly have in your career.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's
there's
wonderful.
great CIOs from big hospitals and hospital systems that
Mm-hmm.
have to do that for their teams as well. Like I
Sure.
said, we're a small part of the supply chain,
Mm-hmm.
but we are very happy to be part of that
Yes.
of that chain.
Well, and I love that as small a part of the supply chain you may be, you're having such a big impact through this, I mean, and if your USME Connect had not won a CIO 100 award yet, I'd be encouraging you to apply for one this year. But you've probably already got something else in mind for this year. At least I hope you do.
I do. We
All
have a story to tell, which
right.
goes. I mean, this chain of events,
Mm-hmm.
this thing about my team started as a two different teams, and now it's a very strong, cohesive team.
Yes.
It gives you the opportunity to really build more,
Yeah. Yeah.
build faster,
Mm-hmm.
and build better.
Yes. I
And
mean, mm-hmm.
and the supporting cast that we have, we're a supporting cast for operations.
Mm-hmm.
We're a supporting cast for, but how we work with communications, how we work with equipment management, with human resources, with accounting and finance, with
With your
customer
customer
experience,
representatives. Yeah.
it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, I hope you could be here one day and see it for yourself. We have interviewed people where we tell them about the culture of the company,
Yeah.
and they flat out tell us, "I don't believe you." And they come in and
Yeah.
they see that it's a reality.
Right. Well, tell me in this for our last question here. Tell me about what you've learned about your own leadership style. How have you, in all these industries you've been part of? I think there were 5 or 6 of them, and now at this job, which seems to suit you incredibly well. How has your way of leading your teams changed over time? What are some of the things that you feel like you've really grown into as a leader?
I think one of the things that I learn a lot is it comes about to be patient. Yeah, sometimes we want everything done yesterday, and if you talk to my team, they'll
Mm-hmm.
probably tell you I'm the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned to be more patient. I learned to be to listen better, not to listen more, but listen better,
Yeah.
and to really incorporate them as part of my family.
Mm-hmm.
They're truly my. I spend more hours with them than I spend with my spouse and children.
Well, most of us do that get deeply involved in our roles that way, but
And
sometimes it's not as clearly enjoyable as it is for you.
oh, it is, and but but the part of them to you have to be patient for them to develop on who they need to be,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to be patient to develop in the people they want to be.
Yes.
So what I do is I'm not here to tell them what to do. They know what to do. They are the experts. They tell me
Mm-hmm.
what I need to do. That's what they were hired because they have a level of expertise that I wish I could have,
Yeah.
and they're
Right.
very smart about it. So I listen to them, and because I'm listening to them, I can provide the tools they need to be successful. I'm here for them.
Mm-hmm. Good.
They are. I know I report to the CEO, but they're
Mm-hmm.
my bosses.
Yes, exactly. Well, and hopefully your CEO feels the same way about you, that, he's there to essentially to empower and enable you in what you need to do.
I can tell you we wouldn't be this successful without his support and the
Mm-hmm.
rest of the C-suite.
Good.
They're an amazing team,
Yeah.
and it's a group of people that we just don't meet at work. We meet outside work. There's
Mm-hmm.
a friendship beyond the business partnership we have internally.
Yeah. Well, for a company with such a very clear mission and a purpose, and then being more mid-sized, so you're not hundreds of thousands of people, it can be a nice tight-knit group that way. It sounds like you're very lucky, I think, in the role that you have grown into yourself here.
I'm lucky, I'm very blessed too. But I hope
Mm-hmm.
one day that 700 people turn into 1,500 or
Mm-hmm.
2,000 people,
That's
and
right.
and we'll prove that we can maintain this culture. I think people is something that people like. It's
Yes.
something that people are drawn to.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, when you live and work in an environment like ours,
Yes.
you are passionate to protect it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and you can't just manufacture an IT culture or even a company culture. It really just evolves over time. So,
It does. It
and
does.
it sounds like you're doing a very good job leading it forward. So, thank you so much for joining me here today, Antonio. This has really been a great conversation.
Oh, Maryfran, thank you so much for having me. And it's been a dream of my life to be talking to you like this.
Uh, I'll be watching for you on the next CIO 100 awards list when that comes out next. When does it usually debut? Sometime in the spring.
So,
So I'm sure you're all doing the homework to get that work done right now. So
one
I
thing I can tell you, and my team will promise you this as well, we'll do our best to be in that list.
Good, excellent. And you know what? If you're not in the next list, there's the list after that. So
That is true. That is
just
true.
that is totally true. Thank you so much.
Maryfran, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yep, it's been a pleasure, Antonio. If you joined us late today, you can watch this full episode here on LinkedIn, but also you'll find it on CIO.com and on CIO's YouTube channel. CIO Leadership Live is also available as an audio podcast wherever you find your podcasts. And I hope you enjoyed today's conversation with CIO Antonio Marin of US Med-Equip as much as I did. If you want to be sure you don't miss any more of our shows, do take a moment to subscribe to CIO's YouTube channel, where you'll find more than 150 previous episodes of CIO Leadership Live, along with several international editions of this podcast, which are featuring senior IT leaders and CIOs from Canada, India, the Middle East, New Zealand, and Australia. We are spreading around the world, and we invite you to tune in and join in enjoying these conversations. Thanks so much for being here with us today, and we'll see you back here next time.